Hello, dear friends, how are you? My dear friends and fellows, look, you might have seen somebody around you, they are seen overthinking, thinking, and thinking. Every time you look upon them, they will be found thinking. Even while sitting in a group of people, while the others are talking, several times they will switch over to their own personal thinking. So for these people, it is very difficult indeed to take a decision. It is very difficult indeed to take a timely decision, and it is even more difficult to carry on that decision, to stick to that decision, to implement that decision, and to somehow put that decision into practice. It is very difficult for those people. So having a situation like this one, they are seen, they are seen in the analysis paralysis, and their life gets crippled. They become a kind of handicapped person, unable to move, unable to take action in their life. So that is a very dangerous situation because it spoils our life totally. We find ourselves unable to do anything productive, and our achievement, we don't make any sort of achievement, considerable achievement as well. So that is called second guessing. Second guessing, this is our topic of discussion. And I have spoken to you what is the second guessing. Now let's talk about the different aspects of it, why it develops, what are its pros and cons, and how can we overcome it. So first of all, what are the causes of this second guessing? Why it gets developed? And there are four reasons why it gets developed. First of all, there is a fear of failure. First of all, it is the fear of failure which creates and which develops the habit of second guessing in us. And we are afraid of the failure. We are desperate to avoid the failure. We need to avoid it. Shouldn't be doing it deliberately, but we cannot 100% ensure it. Once we try to ensure it 100%, then I think that we start second guessing. The second reason why it gets developed, it is the lack of self confidence. And lacking the self confidence, it creates us a person who is seen overthinking, who is seen second guessing for all the time. The third cause of it, it is the past traumatic experiences, past tragedies, past past bitter experiences. So that is the third reason why it gets developed. The fourth reason is that perfectionism. If at all somebody want to do something in a perfect manner, they cannot do it at all. If at all somebody want to do something in a perfect manner, they cannot do it at all. So the four of these are the major reasons. It is the fear of failure, it is the lack of self confidence, it is the past bitter experiences, and it is the perfectionism. The four of these. Now let's try to know what are its pros and cons. So there are two pros. First of all, it generates caution, and being a cautious person, obviously it is beneficial. The second pro is it is the reflection, that we repeatedly reflect back and want to know what is good and what is bad in that. So these are the pros, and there are certain cons of it, and there are four cons of it. Everyone is bigger than the other one. So the first con is indecision. So it is the indecision actually. We remain in a state of indecision, which is very, very bad indeed. We should be a bit decisive, and that is the indecision. In a state of indecision, in a state of analysis paralysis. So the second con is that is anxiety. It generates lot of anxiety. It makes us an anxiety ridden person. So that is the second way, and that is the second con. The third con is the missed opportunities, and we miss opportunities. Our opportunities are missed actually, and important and if opportunities which can bring a significant change in our life, we miss those opportunities because we are seen in the state of analysis paralysis, we are seen in the state of overthinking, we are seen in the state of second guessing. So that is the second big major con. The third is that is the fourth is eroding confidence, and our confidence level is constantly going down. So that is the fourth major loss, trouble, or con of it. The four cons: indecision on the one hand, anxiety on the other hand, and then it is the missed opportunities. Finally, it is the eroding level of confidence. Now, finally, we need to know how can we overcome it. There are certain and several ways. I am going to share seven important ways how can we overcome it. The first important way, it is practicing self-trust. We need to tell ourselves repeatedly, I am a trustworthy person. I have the ability to take the right decision, and I have the ability to take the timely decision. I make the right decision. I stick to my decision. And that is how, somehow, if at all we keep instructing ourselves repeatedly, and it will enter our subconscious mind, we will start practicing ourselves. Now, the second way, that is setting the deadline. Everything which we are going to do, which we need to do, which the decision we need to take, we should set a deadline that I do have to take this decision by the end of that time, by the end of that date, so that, and then sticking to it. Now that is the second way. The third way, it is seek support. Seek support from those people who will guide us, who can guide us, who can support us, who can guide us, and that is seeking support. And always try to develop your contact with this sort of people. And sometimes even we need to have visit the mental health practitioner for the purpose of seeking support. Now, the fourth way to overcome it is reflect and learn. Reflect, look back, not for the purpose of feeling a tragedy, not for the purpose of mourning and groaning, not for the purpose of crying and weeping, rather for the purpose of learning. And that is reflect and learn. That is the fourth way to overcome this second guessing habit. Now, the fifth way to do that, it is focus on the present. Focusing on the present, that is, concentrate on the present moment and take action. Focusing on the present, not to dwell in the past, not to dwell on the bitterness, not to dwell on the regrets of the past, not to worry about the future, but to learn from the past, plan for the future, and concentrate upon the focus upon the present moment. So that is the fifth technique. Now the sixth technique is, that is, develop a growth mindset. What is the growth mindset? Growth mindset says that, okay, I plan and prepare, I execute the thing, but I learn from my mistake. There are the mistakes, and these mistakes are actually very beneficial. These mistakes are my teacher. I learn from these mistakes, and mistakes are not bad. So this is called the growth mindset. And the sixth was the growth mindset. And the seventh way to come out of all that, it is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness means meditation. Meditate very often, and this is highly beneficial, giving us the peace of mind on the one hand, and taking us out of the analysis paralysis. So these are the seven techniques. The technique number one is the practice self trust. The technique number two is setting the deadline for every decision that to be made. And the third is seeking the support and guidance from the people. The fourth is reflect and learn. Look back instead of regretting, learn it. And the fifth is focus on the present, not to dwell on the past or the future. Focus on the present. The sixth is developing a growth mindset, which actually means that learning from the failure and not to be afraid of the failure. The seventh and the last, the practice of mindfulness, and that is actually the meditation. It is highly beneficial, all the seven techniques, because it is extremely important for each one of us that we need to stop the habit of second guessing.